Hello friends, so welcome to the seventh module of extension education and we were talking about research methodology. So in first sub part of research methodology we have covered many important topics. Then in second sub part of research methodology, that is module 6, we have covered the types of research and we have completed that. So today we are going to start a new topic and it's very important from the point of view of your ARS examinations. Many times 5 marks questions are framed from this, many objective questions are being framed on this, and sometimes 10 marks questions will also come. And if you have good command over this topic, research design, and if you know how to make a good research design, then you can become a very good researcher also. That's why it's a very important topic and I urge you that you should make notes. I will again show you notes, my own notes, which I have compiled from GL Ray Sagar Mandal book and Kallinger book. Okay, so let's start research design. So what is research design? First of all, we should know. So research design is the plan, structure and strategy of investigation conceived so as to obtain answer to research questions and to control variance. So this is the definition of research design. It is the plan, structure and strategy of investigation. Means how you will do your whole investigation step by step. Blueprint is your research design. You will plan your experiment, you will structure your experiment, you will have an overall strategy, and step by step you will go and attempt to get your to solve your research problem. That is the research design. Okay, so three things you should always keep in your mind whenever you will define research design. You should always write plan, structure and strategy. So what is plan is the overall scheme of the research, structure is the outline of operations of variables, and strategy includes method to be used to gather and analyze the data. So these three things you should always write in the definition of research design. That's why research design is very important, because step by step solving the problem, getting the answer of your problem is research design. So once we are clear with research designs, let's know what is the purpose of research design. And this is the most favorite 5 mark question of ASRB, that two in two forms this question comes. One is what is the purpose of research design? Write important purpose of or objective of research design. Second question, which is the same answer you have to give it, explain the max min con principle. This is I have written max min con. Okay, it is consisting of three words: maximum, minimum and control. So max min con. Okay, so max min con principle or purpose of research design. So whenever this question comes, first of all, you should always define, not directly jumping into the purpose of research design. If a question comes from purpose of research design, first in one line you define research design as the plan, structure and strategy, and then you should write there are two important basic purpose of research design. So these are the notes from Curlingen. When I will also show the purpose of research design from Ray and Sagar Mandal book. So you can combine both answers to make one concrete answer. So the first one is there are two basic purpose of research design. First one, to provide answer to the research question. Why you are doing research? We are doing research to have an answer of a research question. So who will provide that answer? Our research design will provide answer, because research design will include from the first step to the last step. So whenever we are going to last step systematically, we will get answer to our research problem. So the first purpose of research design is to provide answer to research question. Second important purpose, and the most important purpose, is to control variance. Now if you remember, what are the different type of research I have told you? Experimental and non-experimental. In experimental we can control each and every variable up to 100% because we do those experiments in lab. In non-experimental, especially in ex post facto, field studies and survey research, we can control the variables, but up to certain level, 100% we cannot control. So actually we are not controlling those variables, we are controlling the variance of those variables. Suppose I want to know the knowledge level of my farmers or the adoption, how much extent they have adopted a particular technology. So if I am considering their knowledge as one of my variable, independent variable, So I will not actually measure the knowledge, I will measure the variance in knowledge. So always remember, we do not measure the variable per se, but we always measure the variance in those variables. So to control that variance, and what type of variance we will control, we will look into it. So always remember two purpose: to provide answer to research question, to control variance. Now please read this. Research design enable the researcher to answer the research questions as validly, objectively, accurately and economically. If you remember, there are four characteristics of research I have told you. These are the same. They are designed to yield dependable and valid answer to research question. Research design tell us what observation we have to make, how to analyze the quantitative representation of observation. So when you collect the data, then you have quantitative data. And in social sciences, we have qualitative data also. So how to analyze it? These all steps are included in our research design. So now this comes control of variance include three important elements. So the second purpose of research design is to control variance. Now to control variance, there are three important elements which is also known as max, min, con. Max from here, min, con from here, and control, con from here. So max, min, con. Max, min, con. Max, min, con. Question comes in exam. So always remember this word max, min, con. So now we will expand this max min con. So max stand for maximize systematic variance or experimental variance. If we are maximizing it, it means it is a good type of variance, because in research we will maximize only those things which are adding value to our research. So systematic variance or experimental variance is good. That's why we are maximizing it. Okay, we will look into it, what is systematic variance and what is experimental variance. We will look into it. So first thing you should keep in your mind is we will maximize it. Now we will control extraneous variance. If you remember my previous modules, then I have explained you that extraneous variables are there. Okay, so we have to control. It means it is not a good thing because we have to control it, but we cannot reduce, we can control it, we cannot do it up to zero level. We cannot eradicate it fully, but we can control it obviously, because these are the field studies, these are social science studies. So we cannot do any variable up to the level of zero, but we can control it. So we are controlling extraneous variance. It means extraneous variance is not good. Minimize error variance. Error variance is also we are going to minimize. It means it is also not good. So three things: max, min, con. Maximization of systematic variance, minimization of error variance, and control of extraneous variance. Okay, so now first thing, maximization of experimental variance. So here I have written clearly what experimental variance or systematic variance is. So experimental variance or systematic variance refer to the variance of the dependent variable influenced by independent variable. Right? If you have selected 5 independent variable and you want to see the effect of these 5 independent variable on your dependent variable. Okay, for example, adoption rate is my dependent variable, and I want to see the influence of the knowledge I have given to my farmers. So that knowledge given becomes the independent variable, it will affect the adoption rate. So now my independent variable is knowledge and dependent variable is the adoption rate. Okay, so the most variance which will come from my knowledge which I have given to farmers is good for my experiment. I need that variance because I want to measure the effect of it. Okay, so the variance of your selected independent variables from which you want to see the effect on your dependent variable is experimental variance, is systematic variance, and it is good variance. You need it. That's why we need to maximize it. It can be maximized by designing, planning, and conducting research so that the experimental conditions are as different as possible. Now the second comes control of extraneous variance or variables. So extraneous variables are those variables which affect your study but you do not want them, because we know the rate of adoption of a farmer is not only influenced by the knowledge which you are giving. Might be in evening he is meeting his friends, might be he has joined some other NGO, from there also he is getting knowledge, but you want to study the knowledge or the material or the modules provided by you. Okay, so you don't want the other sources of knowledge to interfere in your study, but they will interfere. So they are the extraneous variable. You don't want it, but they will interfere. It means the influence of independent variables extraneous to the purpose of study. Those variables which you do not want to in your study. They are extraneous to your study, but they will affect your dependent variable, variance of dependent variable. So they are extraneous variables. So these variables we have to control, are minimized. We want to minimize them, we want to nullify them, or we want to isolate them. So it is separated from the variance of other independent variables. So how we will do it? There are many research techniques. So when we will study advances in researches, so when we will see correlation, and then when we see regression, and then we will see how a model fits, how r square is calculated, then we will know actually how this is done in a software. Okay, so here from for the time being you should know that there are extraneous variables, and variance is that variance or variables which are affecting our study as independent variable, but we don't want them. We have not included those variables in our study, so we want to isolate them, nullify them, minimize them, so it becomes extraneous. Okay, so how we will do it? The first step, there are three ways to control extraneous variable, and this becomes itself a full-fledged 5-mark question. So what are the ways to control extraneous variables in research design? So this becomes a question. There are three ways of doing it. The first one, eliminate the variable as a variable. Select subjects or choose subjects so that they are as homogeneous as possible on that independent variable. Suppose you are studying the knowledge effect of your knowledge supplied to farmers on their rate of adoption of a particular technology. So you will select those farmers only on which you have given knowledge. You will not select a farmer who has not attended your workshop or who has not been with you in your research project, because he will give some extra information, or his sources of getting knowledge is different. You want to see the effect of your modules, your knowledge giving material on rate of adoption, so you have to select those farmers only, so they are homogeneous in that way that are becoming a part, they were the part of your experiment or they were the part of your project, so they are homogeneous in one way. Okay, so you will eliminate those where persons or audience who are not part of your project, who are not part of your experiment. Now the second one is, within that also, if you are selecting, if you have selected farmers, then within that also if you are collecting data, then randomization. Second one is randomization. It is the only method of controlling all possible extraneous variable. Randomly assign subjects to experiment groups and condition, and randomly assign conditions to experiment group. Suppose if you are doing a field experiment, so you have to randomize. You can select data from after randomization. Randomization means you will generate a series of random numbers, might be in your sampling courses you have studies. From those random numbers you will select your audience, and then you will take that response of the audience, so the result will not be biased, so that you can have a representativeness of all the sample of all the universe which you are on which you want to generalize your information. So you will randomize, so it will keep away your all biasness, and it will give the pure unbiased results. So always use randomization. And third one is, build it right into design as an independent variable. It can be controlled by building it into the research design as an attribute variable, thus achieving control and yielding additional information about effect of variable on dependent variables. Okay, so important thing is, you always remember, eliminate the variables as a variable. Do not take those audience or those responded who are not part of your experiment. And second is, among them also you will randomize, so that you can get a unbiased answer. Fourth one also in that book also given, to match subject. Split a variable into two or more parts and randomize within each level. Split million into n upon 2 parts. So this part, complete randomization, is the best method. It has done to match the subject. We will cover this part when we will study reliability, because in that also split half method we will study, retest method we will study. So that part I will explain in that part. For time being, if this question comes, then you always remember these three important lines: eliminate the variable as a variable, randomization, and that to complete randomization, and fit the right design for your independent variable. Okay, so here you should always remember two things we have covered: control of extraneous variable and maximization of experimental or systematic variance. And now the third one is minimization of your error variance. Now let us look what is error variance. Error variance is the variability of measures due to random fluctuation, and they are self-compensating and unpredictable. Sources of error variance are factors associated with individual difference among subjects. Errors of measurement. Yes, now we got the important line, errors of measurement. Now, whenever you are taking data on the basis of somewhat scale or certain statement which you have framed, or you are collecting data from farmers. So in collection of data, in measurement of that data, you can do certain faults. So the mistakes which you are doing, when you suppose you have built a very good research design, your research methodology is good, you have selected the right research design, but execution, while executing your research design, while collection of your data, you are doing certain mistakes in writing, mixing excel sheet, feeding the data, or filling the questionnaire, getting the responses. All those errors of measurement if you are doing, then they will add in your variance. That's why its name is error variance, because you are doing error. They are self compensating. You will not know, because how you will know that you are doing error? Because you are not exposed to your error until unless. That's why it in research is always said, always get guidance from a good expertise. You should have a good expertise guidance, and also you should take experienced researcher with you when doing research. So that's why they are unpredictable, self compensating, and the errors which you are doing of measurements, they will add in your error variance. That's why it's minimization. You should try to minimize this. How you will minimize it? It comes with experience. If you are doing good research work, when you will do your MSc, from that research experience, you will not repeat the mistakes in PhD. So minimization of error variance can be done in two ways: reduction of error of measurement through controlled conditions. So here they are talking about especially the laboratory experiment. We can control conditions. In social sciences also we can control up to a certain level. So you should always have a control plot or a control selection with you. So what is that? We will look into it after some time. So reduction of errors of measurement through controlled conditions. Okay, first thing is you should have a controlled conditions, so that the effect of other variables or your errors should not come into the respondents or your exact data. So increase in reliability of measures. So we will look into it when we will read reliability and validity in our upcoming modules. Okay, you have to increase the validity and reliability of your measures. Suppose you are using scale, so you have to use that scale whose reliability has been tested, valid scales who has been published. Then you have to select those scales. So reliability. So here I have given just a formula: total variance is equal to variance between group due to experimental variables plus error variance. Okay, both variance will add to your variance. So that's why we have to minimize this error variance. When we will minimize this error variance, automatically this experimental variance or systematic variance will increase, and this we what we need. Okay, so the larger VE, the smaller VP with greater amount of VT. Okay, so error variance we need to decrease. Okay, so for time being you should always remember maximization or minimization of error variance. Second is control of extraneous variance, and maximization of experimental variance. This is also known as max min con. Okay, so let's move ahead then from here. Then now comes again I have made notes from other books also. So this is the criteria of research design. If I was telling the purpose of research design or criteria of research design, purpose means what is the purpose of doing research design, why you are doing it. Criteria means on the basis of which indicators or criteria you will build your design. So sometimes in exams it comes to what are the different criteria of research. Then these purpose and criteria are very closely related. But still I have given notes for this also. Criteria of research design, the important criteria of research design are: first one is answer research questions. Same thing. Purpose also did it. It should give answer to a research question. So criteria is you have to always check whether the research design I am using, it is giving answer to my research question or not. Does the design answer your research question? Does the design adequately test the hypothesis or not? If it's not testing, you have to change your research design. Second one is control of extraneous independent variable, which I have already told you. Those variables which are affecting our study and we don't need it, the research design should be able to control it. Okay, that's why in research design, selection of research design is a very difficult task. That's why you need your advisors to guide you. Okay, so please read it from here. I have compiled notes. And third criteria is generalizability. This is the most important idea. Suppose you have done a research in, I have already explained in previous modules. If you have done a research in IRI, if you are a student of IRI and if you have done a good research in field for submission of your thesis at IRI, now how much generalizability we can draw from thesis? It means that does it suit your model suits from Haryana farmers also, or it is applicable for Jammu Kashmir farmers also, from farmers from south also or not? If it is in northern India only, how much northern India part it will convey, or how much generalizability can be drawn from the farmers of northern India? So the more generalizability your research has, the more importance and the more quality research you have. For example, the best researches we count is the discovery of gravity or laws of motions. They are universal. Their generalizability is always there. It is true in India also, it is true in USA also, it is true in the whole universe also. That's why these researches are the most important researches of the world, path-breaking researches which have changed the course of history. So in agriculture also, you can do that type of research. In green revolution time, the dwarf variety, they have a very good generalizability. So you witnessed a green revolution, so all the states who are under green revolution, they all got the good results or expected results from the study. So can we generalize the result of study to other subjects, other groups and other conditions? In basic research, generality is not the first consideration. First consideration is to find out the relationship between variables. In applied research, generalizability is the first consideration. So applied research, I have told you when a pure research has been done, and now that pure research is applied for betterment of society. For example, NPK discovery was the basic research, but production of nitrogen fertilizer, making calculating the dose of nitrogen, is applied research. So its generalizability should be good. Okay. So, and the fourth one is internal and external validity. We will also cover when we will look reliability and validity, but for time being, this stanza we will look into it. So again I will tell you, this again becomes a 5 mark question of ASRB. Define internal validity and external validity, differentiate between internal and external validity. So you should have a knowledge internal and external validity. In detail we will look when we will study validity. For time being we will cover this part. Okay, so these are the notes from Kallinger book. So the internal and external validity concept given by Campbell and Stanley. Okay, Campbell and Stanley in 1963. So this can be your objective question. Internal and external validity concept were given by Campbell and Stanley in 1963. So internal validity asks the question, did X, that is your independent variable, the experimental manipulation really makes a significant difference? Anything affecting the control of a design is a problem of internal validity. It means that internal validity refers to the independent variable which you have taken. Do those independent variables made a significant change in variance in your dependent variable? If yes, it means your model is have a good internal validity. So they will deal with the experimental variance or systematic variance. It's internal validity. External validity means representativeness or generalizability. It means how much of your research findings can be generalized to other areas, other regions, other farmers. So it is more, it means external validity is more. External validity means representativeness or generalizability are the variables of this research representative. Variable representativeness is the problem of external validity. These are the problems. Why they are problems, I have written here also. Anything affecting the control of design is a problem. So control of design, how variable representative is the problem of external validity, we will look when we will cover validity in detail. So internal validity is the sine qua non of research design, but the ideal design should be strong in both internal validity and external validity. It means that internal validity is more important than external validity, because if you do not have internal validity, then obviously you will not able to have a very good external validity. So first thing, you have a good design, you will control the external variable, you will have a good control over design, then your internal validity will be you will achieve internal validity, and then only you will talk about external validity. First you will do a research, then you will see the outcomes of research, how they are affecting in other regions also. So for having a good generalizability or representativeness, you will have a to design a good control of design, a good internal validity design. So from here you remember internal validity means experimental variance or systematic variance. Okay, independent variables, how they are affecting on dependent variables. External validity means representativeness. It means generalizability, extent of generalizability drawn from the research. External validity concept was given by Campbell and Stanley in 1963. So these four, internal validity and external validity, generalizability, control of extraneous independent variables, and did your research design answer to research questions are the criteria of research design. So whenever this question comes, these 4 points should come in your answer. So now the notes are coming from I think GL Ray and Sagar Mandal book. Okay. So research design, again we will revise the same things. Research design is the detailed plan of investigation. It is the another definition. There we studies plan, structure, strategy. Here it is the detailed plan of investigation. It is the blueprint of your detailed testing procedure. It is the arrangement of condition for collection and analysis of data. So now you are getting three view of definition, three new words. Okay, plan, structure, strategy, detailed plan of investigation, blueprint of investigation, arrangement of condition for collection and analysis of data. It helps the researcher to test the hypothesis, exploring relationship of independent and dependent variable by controlling variance. So purpose of research design, again in that book also provide answer to the research question, to control variance. From control variance there are three things: max, min, con, maximization of experiment variance, control of extraneous variance, minimization of error variance. Okay, same thing is repeated. Again criteria of research design, four thing we have always I have explained to you. Then now here in that book there are certain research design. Sometimes it comes in exams, right? So just have an idea of this research design, then we will close this module today. So first one is exploratory or formulative research design. Exploratory means, I have explained in my last module, exploratory means when you are doing a research just to explore the factors so that you can do a concrete research afterwards. Suppose I want to do a research in adoption, so I will just explore what are the factors generally affecting adoption. So I will go into village, collect some pre-tested data for pre-testing, and I will consider a lot of many factors. But need not I will select some of the all the factors in my main study, main experiment. So just I am exploring. So exploratory research design. Then descriptive. Now in descriptive I will have a hypothesis. Then from exploratory research design outcomes, support 10 factors are there, I will select 5 factors on the basis of focus group discussion or on the basis of certain other tools. Then in descriptive I will have a certain hypothesis. Or experimental or hypothesis testing research design. Again experimental means this is going to the basic research or laboratory research. So the first one is exploratory research design. Main purpose is to identification of problems, discovery idea, and this type of research design is mostly is done. It is always good to have an exploratory research before doing your main research. So suppose in your PhD you are doing research on a particular topic. For before that you should always have a small exploratory study. Okay, here no hypothesis is developed, just to explore. Flexible, versatile, it helps in develop hypothesis, it helps in developing, but no hypothesis is testing per se in exploratory. In exploratory research design, non-probability sampling method is used. In means purposive sampling, because your aim is to explore. So you will select sampling according to your own convenience. And what is non-probability sampling or what is purposive sampling, we will cover when we look into that sampling part. Okay, important techniques is used in research exploratory research design are pilot surveys, secondary data analysis, focus group discussions. Okay, this is focus group interview, so just to explore. Okay, then the descriptive research design. Descriptive research design are used to answer the question who, what, when, where, and how. It means that now you are after exploratory, you are concretizing your research design, right? You are making it strong, right? Because you want to know who, what, when, where, and how. So how you will know? You will have a very good research design, you will have certain statistical tools also, and you will try to measure the effect of independent variables and dependent variables. So it is well structured, maximum objectivity is maintained. It means that unbiasedness is maintained and free from bias, prejudice, etc. Okay, it is mainly done to know age, sex, education level, extra. It means that social science research, many descriptive research design we are following. Measurement of cause and effect relationship means we have a set of independent variables. Dependent variables, we will see the effect of variance in independent variables, how it is affecting our dependent variable, and description of phenomena. Okay, So selection of problem, this is the all your steps of thesis, how you actually do your thesis. So this comes under descriptive research design. So you might have attended the seminars of your seniors, thesis submission seminar or ORW, PPW, and thesis making drafting seminar. So there they will show the descriptive research design, how they are making it. Now comes the experimental research design. Experimental research design is when you have hypothesis. In descriptive research design also you have hypothesis. Okay, here also you have hypothesis where you will use replication, randomization, local control. They are not being too much used in social sciences. They are mostly used in agronomy and other pure sciences. So here there are different types of research design given in your GLA books. You just go through it. I will just explain post test only. Post test means here in experimental group, suppose these are your samples in which you are doing experiment, you are giving certain treatment which you are studying, and then you are doing test again, right? What are the changes? And on the one way, this is one set of farmers. Control means another set of farmers where you have not given any material, any treatment. So you will collect data from this control design, control audience also, and you will collect data from experimental audience also, right? So you will have two set of data, and you will see how much knowledge they have gained, how much changes you have brought. And now due to this you can say that yes, the changes are due to my treatment. And this post test only. Pre-test means before treatment you will give one pre-test also and post test also. Here in control you will give pre-test also, post test also. Treatment you will not give. Okay, treatment you will not give, because this will give your results when your interventions are there, and this will give results where your intervention are not there. So from control it means you are eradicating or you are nullifying the extraneous variable, you are excluding them. Okay, so that you can say that the changes in behavior of farmers or changes in behavior of your audience are due to your experiment only. Okay, so in this level you need not to go very deep into this. They are available in book, GLA and Sagar Mandal book. So you will just look into it, and we can have a separate module on it. So for exam point of view, it's not come, the question will not be asked like this. This is important from research point of view when you are want to conduct a good research. So for that we will make a separate module. So just after see quasi experimental designs, some but not all extraneous variable can be controlled. So time series designs are there, equivalent time series designs are there, non-equivalent control group. So these are different combinations of how you are making a control group, how you are giving treatment, how you are not giving treatment to certain, and then ex post facto design. So you need not to go, just I have shown here. So this is ex post facto effect to cause design. Okay, there is one more ex post facto cause to effect design. These two just I am showing in screen, you can note it down, but for they are not very frequently asked in exams. For time being, this is the part which I shown you is very important. Criteria of research design, purpose of research design, research design, max min con principle, experimental variance, extraneous variance, error variance, and how they are being controlled. Internal validity, external validity, how you will enhance internal validity, external validity, which we'll look into when we will cover reliability and validity also. So today we have studied a very important topic, research design. You will get an idea, and anytime you are free, feel free to ask questions. You can comment in these videos, and I suggest after listening to these modules, you should read line to line from Kallinger chapter, Kallinger book, and GL Mandal. Some students are saying to me that they don't have Kallinger book. So please go through GL Mandal, but go line to line after these modules. Okay, so these module will explain them. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. I have given you my WhatsApp number also. I am in touch of many students who are giving queries in WhatsApp number also. So stay tuned with my channels and suggest these channels to other students of extension and social sciences also. And not only academic videos, but some other motivating material I always try to generate and put in my channel. So I hope you have liked this video and module. So let's meet in another module where we will cover the next part of research methodology. Okay, all the best. Thank you.